Welcome to Insight 2016. Now, if you come out of the centre stage auditorium, turn left and see the giant beanbags, which is where we're chillaxing now, you might bump into this gentleman here, Vivion Cox, from not one but three companies: Klood Digital, Klood Technologies, and MMR International. Have I got that right?
Yes, all part of the same group of companies.
What do you guys do then?
Well, underlying all, we're a technology organisation, and we have a number of different technology ventures, but the brands that are here today, Klood Digital is effectively a technology and digital marketing services company which builds everything from apps, websites to platforms, and also runs all sorts of different paid media and digital marketing campaigns. So it's a mixture of technologists, creatives, and writers and those sorts of guys. In terms of Klood Technology, that's the underlying technology which underpins everything that we do. And we have a product called Radar, and Radar effectively takes all of the millions of pieces of digital information that's published every moment across the world, every second, and surfaces it to the top, and uses deep learning to find the pieces of information that are relevant for organisations. So anything from risk and reputation management through to brand alerts, through to insights on what customers are saying about you or your organisation. That's what Radar does. It effectively, old-fashioned, going out, picking out the pieces of content, but then using sort of predictive analytics, and in the future more and more self-learning and machine learning to help organisations distill amongst the millions of pieces of information that the bits that mean something to them. Because it's the big challenge in today's world is everybody's got access to data now. Big data as a theme is kind of old hat. Really is, how do I make sure that big data means something to my organisation, and I get the piece of information in a timely way that I can sort of consume, rather than being bombarded by sort of swamps and swamps of spreadsheets. And then we have MMRI, which stands for Media Market Research Intelligence, and this is where our technology meets people. And we work with a whole host of brands and organisations from across the globe to, again, use the data to surface insight for them. And that can be around sort of risk and reputation pieces. It can be market intelligence and insight as well. So seemingly three separate companies, but all those brands sort of work intertwined together to provide complementary services.
Tell me about Transfer Whispers then, because this sounds like a beautiful application which utilises all sorts of strengths and elements of the kind of work that you're doing.
Yeah, so Football Whispers is...
Football Whispers, beg your pardon.
Football Whispers is a really exciting concept that we launched in January for the transfer window. We had this sort of vision that lots of people are waking up every day and they're visiting multiple sites to try and find the latest transfer news about their club. And we think transfers in football, it sort of denotes hope, so therefore everybody's enthusiastic about it. And so what we did with Football Whispers is we used our underlying technology to go out there and find every conversation relating to a player, a club or a transfer, to try and sort of sift out the wheat from the chaff for football fans. And what we did, so let's say Lionel Messi is being linked to sign for Manchester City. The underlying technology will go out and it will find every conversation, every blog post, every forum post, every newspaper article, and it will not only look at the volume of content out there, but it will also look at the domain authority or the authority of the person talking about this, and try and sort of judge, is that a worthwhile rumour, is it something that's happening? But it also looks at other data sets, and it looks at sort of contract terms. It looks at the type of spend that a club will particularly make in a particular transfer window, and meshes all of that together to create an index score that predicts the likelihood of a transfer happening. So it's getting great traction. We've had, within 4 weeks of releasing to sort of beta release, we had 100,000 unique new users. So it's taken us aback by how successful, and a lot of the big sports broadcast media are now interested in talking to us about how we can work with them. So it was designed initially as a platform to sort of use our data and work out how we exploit the data, because football's a great place to start because there's millions of conversations every day. But more importantly, it's turned into something now that we think is going to be a fast-growing business, and we are doing the full. We're coming out of beta into full launch on May the 16th, ahead of the Euros for the summer transfer window, and hopefully Football Whispers will take a life of its own. And the interesting thing there really is we've worked with the University of Sheffield and their computer sciences team to help us create the algorithm that underpins everything. And these guys have been used in the past by the police force and the government to predict events happening at the likes of the Notting Hill Carnival or Glastonbury Festival. and so they're the world leaders in surfacing social media data. So if you take our sort of engineering and technology background, combining it with the academic thinking, we think we've got a combination that's unrivaled at the moment. So yeah, Football Whispers, great story. My passion's football, so I've spent a long time trying to match my passion of technology and football together, but yeah, we finally seem to have been able to do that.
And it sounds like you've come up with a great showcase for what you can do. Viv, really good to speak to you. If you want to come and get a fraction of the passion and insight that Viv and his team have obviously got, come and meet the guys at Klood, come and chillax on these rather strange but actually strangely comfortable beanbags just outside the Centre Stage Theatre.